Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Yolanda Hayes. Today we have a special guest. I have been trying to get this young lady on my YouTube channel for a long time. I have been wanting to bring someone who is in the new construction world onto my channel to help buyers understand the process of new construction. So today I have Nadia with True Homes. I'm gonna let her introduce herself real quick.
Hi everyone, thank you all for having me here. Yes, we chased ourselves for a little while, but finally we sat down to do this. So my name is Nadia and I have been with True Homes for, it will be almost 9 years very soon, so it's a long time. Yes, I love what I do. It's kind of a mix of a real fun, and that's what I do.
That's good. Absolutely. That's good. Well, I have a lot of buyers that go through resale homes as well as new construction. So I wanted to be able to bring on someone that can speak about new construction for those buyers that are interested. What are the pros and cons of going with new construction versus a resale home? So I compiled some questions together that I do typically get from buyers, whether they're here on YouTube or another social media platform, that ask me just certain questions about the process. I don't work for True Homes and I don't work for new construction. So I wanted to bring a professional on that can answer these questions for you. So the very first question that I want to go ahead and ask, a lot of my buyers are renting. A lot of buyers all over the Winston-Salem triad area, they are renting. If they are in a lease and they have a long period or a couple of months left on their lease, what is the time frame that it's taking homes to build? When should that buyer come and either meet with me or meet with you to start the process? Like if they're in a lease, we don't want them to break the lease, of course, but how soon in advance so that it can kind of match up the end of their lease to their home being completed?
Absolutely, and I actually love that we are starting with this question, because this is something that we can speak in a couple of different terms. So with new construction, and especially for True Homes, we can build homes from ground up, which is going to take roughly about 6 to 7 months, depending on a community, maybe a little bit longer, but sometimes we have a quicker move-ins as well. Now, as far as for the clients and the buyers looking into upgrading from the rental to home ownership, I tell everybody you should start as soon as possible, at least 6 months, because that is going to give you a timeline to prepare yourself, find a property, and also have enough time, to get the lease expire if so. Now, here and there we do have to be flexible, maybe 1 or 2 months, but if we start at least 6 months prior, that is going to give us enough time to find the home, the property, start building, and then hopefully be very close and accurate with your end of the lease.
Great. So about 6 months, you're thinking,
yes.
Right around that sweet spot. So when you're halfway through that 12-month lease, that's when we need to start, coming in and having conversations.
Yeah, or sooner. I mean, honestly, sometimes in the market where we don't have a lot of inventory, you can start sooner. The moment you start having that little itch, like, okay, how about buying a home? And you start looking online, that's where you should be reaching out to the real estate professional and start looking and searching.
All right, great. Okay, so the next question that I have is when people are driving around. There's a lot of new construction builders around here, and when people are driving around and they see the signs that say starting at, okay, what price is that? The base price? What is included in that price? Because that typically rears people in, starting at 300,000, starting in the low 300,000, or starting in the low 400,000s. What exactly does that mean in comparison to an upgrade, base price versus adding upgrades?
Absolutely. Well, that is a loaded question, okay? Because that is going to be pretty different for every builder. But generally speaking right now, is if it says you're starting from, that means that their smallest plan as is base as they define for the builder, what they include as the base features.
Wow, okay.
That's what you're starting, right? So if you're looking for a larger home and that you want more upgraded home, and they say they are starting from from, it's typically from the smallest available floor plan.
That's something that even me did not know that. Okay, so it's starting at the lowest floor plan, and you know, once people see that because I know that is a marketing, that's something for marketing, just to be honest, and that is what stops people and make them pull in to the community. And you know, I do get people that are like, oh, they said it was starting at this, and then they're like, oh, but then once I add this and this, you know, so are you able to share like what it comes with the base price?
Yes, absolutely. So specifically for True Homes, when we say that we are starting a certain price point that is going to be tied, this is where we can get as a lowest price, right? Then with True Homes, we have communities that will have different collections, okay? So we have a collection that it's called Integrity Collection, and you will be starting at a lower price point. Now, what it includes is going to be different. What Elements Collection, which is going to be a little bit more loaded, more bling bling in a home, right? And so it is always good to come inside of the model home and kind of find out what is included in the collection. But all of our homes will have granite options or quartz options. You will have your backsplash, and sometimes you will have flooring included in a higher collection. Sometimes it's not. Generally speaking, when you build a home with us with either collection, your home is ready to move in, and you have a lot of say so. So most of the time right now, builders in our price point will have homes that are being built. They are spec homes, so when you go in, you don't have a say so. So you either like it, don't like it, just kind of deal with it. With us, even with starting in the base price, you have options on how the home is going to look like. The only thing that we don't provide with the home is going to be the refrigerator, so that's something that will have to be purchased with us or outside, but the home is going to be nicely loaded to start with, but then depending on a collection, we can go to a higher base. Now, Integrity Collection, to answer your question, is positioned to be able to capture buyers that don't have really high budget, but they want a quality home. They still have a say so, but let's say they want to do upgrade in a specific place of the home, and that's all they want to do. So with the Integrity Collection, we can control the price where we're going to end with the clients.
Wow, okay, great. Just for myself, just so my own knowledge, are the collections based on the neighborhood? Like every neighborhood is different? Is that what it is? Like every neighborhood has a different, you know, level of collection? Like what level of quality? Or is all completely, everything is quality, it's just matter what goes in?
That's it, yes. So with True Homes, you will get the same quality. What really is happening is that we add more higher level upgrades to the home. So right now we are sitting in Winston-Salem in River Rock. This is Elements Collection, So we have more bling bling included throughout the home. Whereas if we would go about 10 minutes from here, we would go to Murray Heights, and you will be with the Integrity Collection, where we start in a lower price point, right? But then the clients can say, okay, I don't need to have the whole house upgraded. I like it the way how it is, or maybe their budget doesn't allow them, but they still want to have the quality product and still have some options. So it's not about lower quality, it's about maybe upgrading to the next level if somebody is a little bit more specific about what type of a flooring, level 5, level 6, or what have you.
Great. Okay, so the next question is going to be kind of a tough question here.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Kind of a tough question, but this is also for myself. I have been in the real estate field as a real estate agent for 18 years. And I started off in Charlotte, North Carolina. So from Charlotte, there were builders such as Lennar, Pulte, D.R. Horton, of course, and Ryan Homes. Now that those builders, and I know D.R. Horton has been here a while, but Lennar, Pulte, and Ryan Homes are somewhat new over the last just year or two. Now that those builders are migrating or coming up from Charlotte and coming to the Triad area now, that brings a lot of competition to True Homes. What is going to set you guys, or continue to set you guys, True Homes, apart from these new builders that are coming in as kind of competition for you guys?
Well, we welcome the competition. Bring it on. Bring it on. So there are quite a few parts that are to discuss. So one of the biggest things for us, I think, that when the client is thinking about the new construction in general, they're thinking of two ways normally, okay? They're thinking either fully custom because they see a picture in a magazine, they see the home that is completely on a different level, and if they want to build something like that, that would be $700,000-800,000+, right? Because it will be custom built, truly custom built, right? Well, let's face it, in Triad, we don't have the income yet that can capture most of the clients to be the custom, right? Then the opposite side that the clients will look at it, okay, I want something that is going to be really inexpensive, but what happens, those are what we call production builders, right? And with the production builders, they're going to tell you how the home is going to be sitting. As I said before, they typically, to control the cost, they will already prepare the house. They build up the spec homes, or if they allowed you to build, they will have a few little changes in the home, right? So most of the neighborhood is going to have the same floor plans over and over, and that's what on the street you guys call it cookie cutter style.
Cookie cutter,
right?
Yes, yes. We always call it that, cookie cutter. Everybody's house look exactly the same.
Exactly.
The whole neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And then you look at the neighbor and they say, oh, I know, they have a living room there, they have all of that, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with a production builder if if that's just the best fit for your budget in general, what have you, or location, that's fine. But what True Homes is bringing in as a private builder is that we are taking the personalization or the customization part, right? And then because we build over 2,000 homes a year and we have completely different system how we work with the trades, we build over 2,000 homes a year so we can get better pricing, right?
Gotcha.
So when you kind of marry that customization or personalization to a certain extent, right, and the lower prices, we can marry this concept, and we call this semi-custom.
Okay.
And it's literally completely different. So every time the client comes in, we are going to sit down with the client, and it's going to be one-on-one discussion. Okay, what is it that we are trying to resolve for you? What is it that your family needs? Where is your budget, right? And then we are literally going to design with them the whole home. Now, with a semi-custom, it's not fully custom, so we have options, but we have on average about 250 floor plans. And what we are really, really different is, honestly, Yolanda, is our lifestyles, okay? What that means that normally when you go to a normal builder, they will show you this is the floor plan and this is how it is. Maybe you can change the living room.
Right.
With us, we are really looking at different lifestyle, how clients will live differently, because how you live at home and how I live must be very
it's
different. Right?
It's two different
and
things.
so True Homes has a different ways how we can positioning the layout of the home in different sizes. And then when we finish the home, I can guarantee you that that will be the only house like that on the market. I've been doing this almost 9 years, and I have not built the same house twice ever.
Wow.
So that's your number
it's
one
truly
thing.
Custom, really.
Absolutely.
Really it is.
Yes, and we can start customizing already our floor plans here in Winston-Salem. We can start from 260s. There's no other builder that can do that to the extent of us, okay?
Right.
So just the uniqueness pattern of that will be the one, okay? The other thing is when somebody is going to spend a lot of money, because let's face it, for the buyers, this is going to be a lot of money, right?
Yes.
What is the number one thing that they say? If I'm going to spend the money, I want to get what?
Yes.
The quality,
the
right?
quality.
So the quality is one big thing that we are really proud of, okay? I have brought it up in here because we have so many awards, it's hard to keep them all straight, right? But just to give you an overview, we have over 20 national awards, okay? Yes, amazing, amazing, right? We've got one very, very special award, which is the National Housing Quality Gold Award, and we are the only private builder on the East Coast that has that. So if you kind of think of it, right? It's like having Oscars and Emmy Awards together in the quality. So if you're going to spend the money, right? You want to have the quality, we can definitely prove that. And then another thing that we find out when we do the surveys with the clients, because just for the listeners, we survey every client that we build a home for. We give them typically about 30 to 60 days after they moved in the home, right? They kind of settle, they can use the home, and when the main hype is already down, we then send a survey, third party sends the survey and say, hey, Mr. Client, how are you happy with the home? How are you happy with the process? And I'm very proud to say that we are right now at 95% approval rating from the clients. Absolutely, yes. So that means that, we are doing fantastic.
That's how you stand apart.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
how you stand apart from the other builders that are out here.
And I can go on and on to that. If you guys want to know more and can go in deep, come to our website.
Right, exactly. So what I heard is they are providing quality. I know that a lot of, especially first-time homeowners are worried. So to go into my next question, I can kind of piggyback off of this. My next question is, because of first-time homebuyers are so worried about things breaking. So when they go into homes that are resale homes, typically, unless the seller or the buyer go ahead and get a home warranty, some sort of home warranty, they're worried. So a lot of buyers, they go into new construction for peace of mind. What type of warranties are you guys giving? What are True Homes giving through their first year, second year, anything like that, or even the 10-year structural warranty? What are you guys offering to give a buyer peace of mind when they purchase?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. So yes, that is something that we strive as well, and I actually brought it down in here, that way I don't leave anything out. But starting from the very first year, we have the 1-year warranty, which is the defects in materials, workmanship, finishes, and the functions. Then we have 2 years mechanical system that covers plumbing, HVAC, electricals, and all attached fixtures.
Wow.
And then we have 10-year warranty, which is load-bearing elements. A lot of people call it structural, but the right term would be the load-bearing, right? Which is the foundation systems, beams, headers, load-bearing columns, and of course load-bearing walls. And that one, actually, all of our warranties are transferable. So one time. So when we talk about later on, probably we'll talk about the value. If you say that average buyer stays in a home for about 5 to 7 years right now, right? And then you sell it. If you purchase with True Homes and you are putting a home on the market with Yolanda, again, she can advertise. That's
Their
right.
warranty is still attached.
It's attached, and that is going to increase that as well.
Wow, I did not know that. So the low bearing structural, no, I've always called it structural, so that's what I'll call it. Structural or low bearing warranty transfers to the next owner.
Yes.
Okay, one time though.
Yes,
one
and
time.
then one thing that are really big with True Homes, and it goes to the quality and the satisfaction rating as well, that's where it really shows that we really do that, is when we start a process, the clients actually get a warranty manual, which is 30-something pages, okay? And it really breaks down everything, the materials, because when we bring the materials to to our home, they will have their own manufacturer warranties. Then you will have your craftsmanship and all of that stuff, right? But we also believe that the client needs to know how to take care of certain materials. There's difference between granite, between the quartz. So we actually talk about it during the design center appointment when you meet with the builder, and the warranty manual covers a couple of those things as well. So not that only you buy a quality home, but you know how to take care of it properly, so it lasts really long. And when we speak with the inspectors that come to us, and we've been on the market for a decade plus, right? They tell us that they can see that True Homes, resale True Homes, actually are looking completely different, have better out in the feel and look, and better inspections, because the buyers knew how to take care of their home. So that's another part that we put in there.
Wow, that's great, because I sold a home with you, with a couple, and just by probably the end of 2024. And I have to say that the home inspector, he didn't find one thing. He didn't find one thing.
As I said.
He did not find one thing wrong with the house. He was raving of how great the craftsmanship and just everything overall that he had to check. And this is a third-party home inspector. This is someone that my clients hired that would have been biased. They don't work for, them. They don't work for the builder. So this is a third-party company that came in and gave their, professional opinion to inspect a home, and there was nothing on the home inspection report that needed to be done. So that was definitely impressive.
Yes.
Very impressive.
Now, how I can position it as well is that normally when the clients come into a general model home for the new construction, the model home is extra taken care of, right? Because you do want to showcase and all of that stuff, right? When you come to true homes, the quality that you will see in my model home is literally the same quality that your home is going to be built at.
Great.
Right?
Yeah.
We do have some upgrades to show off what we can do and stuff, but as far as the quality, it's what you will get. And I can tell the story that when I was still in High Point, we were completing a community in there. We had buyers coming in, they were shopping around, right? And I'm not gonna say the builders because obviously it's not needed to, but they came to, the moment they walked through the door, if I'm a model home, they just go like, wow. And then we were talking and I asked them, I said, I'm a nosy person. So I said, tell me, why did you say, wow, was it the decor? What was it? And they said, when we walked in, like you could see the quality, you could feel the quality and the sturdiness. So I think it's a peace of mind when we talk about the quality and the value, that when you come into my model home and you love my model home, how it feels, I will deliver that to you. Our builders will deliver that to you.
That's great. That's great, because I love it. All right, Nadia. So my next question is going to be for also home buyers. When they come in, first-time home buyers, a lot of them don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. So 9 times out of 10, they will reach out to a real estate agent first. The question that I have is, do you have to have a real estate agent? And if you have your own real estate agent, going into lending, should the person get pre-qualified already, or do they have to use your lender, your in-house lender? And if so, what are the benefits to using your in-house lender versus them getting pre-approved on their own and have their own lender? Because a lot of times people like to go to banks that they already have a relationship with, whether it's the credit union, whether it's Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal. If they already have a relationship, they feel more comfortable going to a lender that they already have a relationship with versus coming here. Do they have to use your lender?
Okay, so I hear a couple of questions. So the first question that I heard was, do you have to have a real estate agent to purchase true homes or new construction? No, you don't need to. However, you do have to also understand that although I have a real estate license, I do represent the seller.
Right.
Okay, so we will do everything that will be in our power to make you happy and everything, be the right way.
Right.
But we are representing the seller side. Okay. So if you are starting with a real estate agent, True Homes will pay the real estate agent their commission, okay, as long as they're brokering costs.
And that's what I love about True Homes. That's something that I never, ever, ever have had to worry about, because True Homes has always protected real estate brokers.
Absolutely.
They've always, it's more of a partnership. So that's what I love about True Homes, because that takes the burden off of the buyer having to pay their real estate agent. So that's definitely something that I love about it. And although you do not have to have a real estate agent protecting and representing you, it is always best to have someone by your side to help represent you, help negotiate, and be there and be an advocate for you, because Nadia, or the person who is sitting in the model home, they work for the builder.
Yes, and with True Home, again, we are very much upfront. The client knows what they're signing, but the main point is we don't want the buyer to think that if you started working with a real estate agent and you come to me and say, hey, if I don't have a real estate agent, do I get discount? No, you do not.
No, you do not.
You do not, okay, you do not. Well,
you're not saving any money by
Yeah.
not having representation.
Exactly. But how I say, this is always a a teamwork, right? We will be working as a team
Right.
together, and we want to make sure that if the real estate agent started working with you and have done all that work, we love working with the agents because they have you buyers, we have the product. So this is a match made in heaven.
Right, right.
Absolutely. So I think those are the first two questions,
Yes.
right? Then the secondly, so do you have to work with a preferred lender? No, you do not have to. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. 99% of the time, the preferred lender will have will be a better deal for you as far as the finances. Okay, because for example, with True Homes, we have a couple of different preferred lenders. Now I'm going to point out that there is a difference between preferred lender that True Homes has or work with, or in-house lender that other builders will have as well. Okay, so there's a difference. In-house lender with other builders will basically lock you into certain programs, and that's it. You don't have a way of to go and shop around within that group. So you know, they will present it as a fantastic deal, but on a back end they're gonna put it on somewhere. Right?
Oh yeah, they'll put it on the back end and move it around.
Right?
Okay.
And with what we do with True Homes, we have a group of preferred lenders. That means that we have multiple different lending sources like Movement Mortgage, US Bank, Truist, Wells Fargo, and the client is welcome to shop around, right? And then it doesn't matter with which preferred lender you will work, they're going to give you an incentive already to start working with them. Okay. Currently it's up to $2,000. Sometimes it can be 0.5% of the purchase price, right? So you have the ability to really shop around and still have the benefit. Now, also when you're working, at least with True Homes, when you're working with a preferred lender, you will need a less deposit to put down to start a process, right? Because we know that once you get a pre-qualification from the preferred lender, you are good to go. Whereas if you go online, I don't know, mortgage.com or I'm going to say different names, right? They will give you pre-qual without really pre-vetting you properly.
Right.
And that can cause an issue. So that is more risk for us. So you are also rewarded working with the preferred lender. You have that benefit that you will have less money to start the process with. Okay. And so another thing that we are not thinking of is appraisals, for example. So with the preferred lender, we have the ability to, when the appraisal comes in and it might be a little bit off, we can request reappraisal. We can push on that a little bit, right? We can also make sure that they can do on-site appraisal. So it's a different way how we can kind of work with the appraisals. Can we change the appraisal? Completely not, but we can definitely have a list out saying, hey, there are different comparable properties. So also with the appraisals is, it's a good way to go with the preferred lenders. Now, the biggest really benefit, honestly, is the peace of mind, right? Because the preferred lender is connected with our system. So especially for the first-time home buyer or a person that is busy at work all the time, because nowadays we work like 12 hours a day, right? The preferred lender knows exactly what is needed, when it's needed. So they will send you the notification, hey, this is what we need, this is what we need. So it's better for you because they're doing it automatically. So it takes that stress level out of it, and there's less chance of having issues with delays because they're keeping on track with what needs to be delivered at what time. Because when we are building the home, right, if we tell you that we are going to deliver a home within the 6 to 8 months timeline, everything has to be lined up. So sometimes 2 weeks offset with non-preferred lender because they forgot to send us some of the documentation will push your completion timeline as well. So there are a lot of benefits, honestly, working with that. Now, do you have to work with them? No, it is highly recommended for all of the benefits and plus that we talked about. But for example, there are some cases where the non-preferred lender has a special program specific to you, and it's definitely better for the client, right? Because we are looking really what's beneficial for the client at the end, right? So at that point, we're just going to roll with the non-preferred lender. It's just, they will not be getting certain benefits,
But you guys are offering incentives.
Yes, and we will collect 1% of the deposit higher, but that is all the deposit will be credited back to you at the end anyway. So it's just, a little bit of a skin in the game because we don't know that lender. But again, if the program is better for the buyer, that's what we can roll with as well.
So I definitely heard. So what I heard is their preferred lenders, they work together for you to have a better experience and a smoother transaction. Because you guys are familiar with they're familiar with the process.
Correct. Yes.
Got it. So those are the benefits to working with someone that also works in conjunction with your builder versus you hiring someone or going with a lender outside of the process. Sometimes they can drop the ball.
Yes,
because they don't know the process.
Yeah, and there's a difference whether it's an in-house lender and a preferred lender. So that's a question that you should be definitely asking.
Yeah.
And just to add, with preferred lenders, at least on our side, they can do FHA, conventional, VA, doctor loans, different things.
Any loan out there.
Absolutely, yeah. So, if you want to do some 3-2-1 buy downs, we have lenders that can do that as well. So it's not like you will be thinking, okay, I need a specific program. We can always explore. If our lenders cannot do that, then we can venture out and go non-preferred lender.
All right,
yes.
That sounds good. All right, Nadia, I have one last question for you. I want to know, what would be the top, can you give the top reasons or benefits to a buyer choosing to go with True Homes?
Oh, I definitely can do that, and I'm prepared for that one. Okay, so there are quite a few points. We discussed several of them during the interview already, so I'm not going to go into those into details, but there are a few that I would like to just kind of like dip in, if you don't mind. Okay, so the first one, everything is brand new. Well, come on, who does not like
everybody likes brand new.
Yes,
they like brand
smell.
new.
Absolutely. The first one, being in the bathroom and all of that stuff, right?
Right.
That's fun, right? Materials are new because right now in North Carolina, we are as is sale, right?
Okay.
Resale. So when you are looking at the existing home, you go into their home, if they have little chip or things like that, you're just buying it as is, right? Unless you can negotiate the repairs. And let's face it, in current market, is not going to happen. It is not going to happen, right? So everything brand new is number one thing. Of course, the builder warranties that we mentioned. And let me just tell you a quick story. So I worked over the weekend with a client, and they were comparing us and a resale home in our area, right? So our home was 38 years old, younger. So that means they were looking at really aged property because there's not enough inventory, right? And the home was about 300 square feet smaller than my home. But the kicker was that when they were looking at the repairs that they would have to do within the next 1 or 2 years, it came up to almost $35,000, right?
Wow.
So, so right now the new construction can come up actually way less expensive in a general terms when you look at all of the expenses than existing home.
Wow.
Right?
That's a lot.
And that was, they had to go also, and there was a bidding situation, right? So one thing with new construction, most of the times, and almost 99% of the time when you're building, you do not have that. You do not have the bidding wars.
That's stressful
as well.
That's very stressful.
So that's one, okay? And then the warranties, again, with the warranties, what I'm going to mention is that a lot of clients forget that when you are buying new construction, you will be in a home, as I said, about 7 years, 5-7 years. That's the average right now, right? But also you will be then selling pretty much still a new home, right? So when you put your home on a market, you do not have to pay for the repairs. Then if you buy a that is 25-30 years old home and you stay in a home for 7 to 10 years, now you're selling 30-40 years old home, so your roof line is out. So when you put your home on a market, now the buyer will want you to chip in for the repairs.
Right.
So that's another part of it that we have in there. Now, one big one is going to be energy efficiency.
Right.
right? So our every single home that we build has an energy rating called Hearst rating, and they have a certification for that. Fun fact: even our thresholds are adjustable to the weather. Okay, so when we talk about saving the money in general, that's where you will save a lot of money.
Yes.
As a former property manager for quite a few years, you can have a low-cost home, but if your monthly expenses on the utilities is $600, $500, because of not quality built or appliances not being energy efficient, that is going to make a difference whether you can really afford a home at the end as well.
Gotcha.
We talk about the customizations, like if you say that with us you can literally design the only unique house on the market, that's one big one there. Layouts, how we design the layouts nowadays, it's very different. Most of the setups are going to be in an open concept. We talk about the lifestyle, so we can adjust it as well. But what it also does, that if you the homes how they were built in like 1990s and early 2000, if the square footage would say on the paper 1700 square feet, it felt more like 1500, right? If I build a home right now and it says it's 2000 square feet, it's gonna feel more towards a 22.
Right.
So you will get more usable space, at least with true homes, absolutely. And then no upfront repairs, we have already touched that. A low maintenance, I mean, if you have a big yard, you will have a maintenance, but as far as the home, because everything is new and is running well, as long as you do a general preventive maintenance, it should be easy peasy, beautiful, do we say. And then financially, better resale, as far as those 7 years that I have mentioned, then buying at lowest price. So this is something that is not talked about very often as far as the benefit. So imagine that we have a new neighborhood and we start building. When we start building the community, that is the lowest price you can ever buy those homes, right? And so when we complete the neighborhood, we can see the appreciation of the value going really fast. So I like to tell people that today, when you come in that day, today is the lowest price you can buy this home at. So that's something to think about as well. And then when somebody is building from ground up, not buying a spec home or inventory home, we are able to give them the time, 6 to 7 months, to maybe save more for down payment and things like that. You still have to be able to be rock and rolling with the contract or the agreement, but you still have enough time, A, to prepare for the transition, right? B, you can save more money. And C, sometimes when we want to work a little bit more on the credit score, we can do that as well. That way at the end they can have lower interest rate, and that is going to transfer in a lower payment for the home as well, right? One funny one, if we have a new neighborhood, you can technically pick your neighbor. You can tell your friends, hey, come on and be my neighbor.
Right, you're right, exactly. You can pick your neighbor.
One, yes. And then again, the last one, the uniqueness of true homes, at least specifically. I mean, again, none of our homes are cookie cutter homes. You don't know when you look at the facade what's inside, and it's just, it's just special.
Yeah, so no cookie cutters, okay? That's definitely a thing that I hear all the time out in the field from buyers. They don't want a cookie cutter home. They don't want a cookie cutter home, which is why I bring them to True Homes. So what happens is, Nadia and I are basically partners. If you work with me as your buyer agent, you're automatically getting Nadia with it.
Yeah, we have a package deal.
We're a package deal when you come to True Homes. So I'm just so grateful that we were able to synchronize our schedules.
Yes, finally.
Finally. This has been months of trying to get us together. So I definitely am very happy to have you on. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yes.
And if you could just quickly share about the community that we're in right now. This is a beautiful community, and I am going to get some footage to attach to this video at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. But can you talk more about the community that we're in?
Yes. So right now we are a few minutes from Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem. It is actually area where there is a high need for homes because we are 15 minutes from the center. We've got a lot of walking trails, shopping, and there's just not enough housing. So the developer prepared a piece of land. So we are going to have 189 homes, single family homes. We literally just started our sales pace in December. So our first clients went under contract in December, and we already have quite a few people living in here. That's something that is great when we talk about the value. We are starting the neighborhood right now, right?
Yeah.
So
it's that Wake Forest area. People love that Polo Road, Wake Forest area. This is a prime area.
Yes. One thing I mentioned, True Homes is not going to invest millions of dollars in a neighborhood or location where people do not want to buy.
Right.
So if somebody asks me how is the location, that's my answer, honestly, right? But River Rock is considered what we call a master plan community or planned community. So we do have a picnic area, kind of little central park area in the middle, and we've got a playground. And as I said, we have about 4 walking trails within the 3 miles radius in here. So if you like walking and if you like, living close, this is going to be good location. Now, as far as the community price point, we are starting in 340s. So that means my smallest floor plan, right, is starting in 340s. I can get anywhere from about 1,600 square feet. Well, actually, I'm lying. From 1,500 because I can do ranch, right? Single family home ranch. From 1,500 square feet to almost 3,000.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Up to 3,000 square feet.
Yes, up to 3,000 in here. And then this is Elements collection. So a lot of bling bling are already included with here. Now, what is specific for this month and upcoming months, we do have incentive, which is a package that is, we call it a True 20, and we have a couple of buyers will be able to take a benefit that if they purchase the home within the timeline this promotion is active, we are going to give additional $20,000 worth of upgrades into upgrades that we already have in here.
Wow.
Right.
20,000.
So absolutely, yes. The lots are positioned within kind of like a green area, so the community is encircled with the greenery, and it's just beautiful. So when you take the video footage, you'll have that. Yes.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on my channel. And again, if you are thinking about purchasing, whether you are relocating to the area, I get a lot of people from YouTube reaching out to me to purchase. If you are relocating, or if you're already in the area and you're thinking about purchasing a home and you're thinking about new construction, definitely reach out to me. Nadia and I can sit down with you to go over the process with no obligations.
Absolutely.
So definitely reach out. Make sure you leave a comment down below. We will definitely answer any questions that you have. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. But please stay on the channel because I'm going to give you guys a tour of this model home.
Actually, 2.
Oh, 2 model homes. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.